This is just one of the most important videos that you're going to watch on this channel or at all, because it's one on offers. And if you don't understand this and you don't have every single part of this implemented, you're just not going to be able to scale your business. And it's just pretty much that simple. You're never going to be able to do paid ads effectively or profitably. Your content is going to suffer, your outreach is going to suffer, your partnerships are going to suffer, and every single part of your business is going to suffer. So it's important that you watch this video all the way through. So we have two different funnels here. We have the 1000x leads funnel, and we have what most people have, which might even be generous compared to what most people have. And the difference between the two here is you see that the 1000x leads funnel has products, affiliate, program, course, referral, and recurring service, or one-time service rather, versus the average person only has their recurring service. And this, like I said, might be a little bit generous because most people's marketing funnel will look something more like this, not even quite like this. They might post content on Twitter, or they might do SEO, or they might do cold email, or a lot of people might not do any of the things at all, and their funnel is just wait for referrals. And this is basically their marketing strategy. So to go back to it, the important thing is that we have all of these offers, because no matter what we do, whether it's paid ads or content or outreach or whatever, 99% of the leads we generate are going to be unqualified. And there's nothing that I or you or anyone else is going to do to change that. It's one of the 4 problems that most businesses have. In addition to no one knows who they are, they don't get enough leads, and all of their clients come from referrals. To solve these other problems, obviously if you run ads, you do outreach, you do content, people are going to find out who you are. If you have lead magnets, people are going to become leads. And if you solve these 2 problems, you're kind of going to solve the problem of all of the people coming from referrals as a byproduct by default. This right here is the only problem that we don't solve by actually solving the problem. There's nothing that we can do to change the fact that 99% of leads are unqualified. However, we have to solve this problem by proxy, or by doing something adjacent to it, and that is having all of these other offers. When we have a referral offer, a course offer, a program offer, we're including affiliate links in our stuff, we're selling digital products, and we have a one-time service, that is what solves this problem. So it's very, very important to understand this. So I've done a lot of different things here. I've kind of made a ton of different scenarios to show you why, with actual numbers, actual examples, how this might work. Because it's very important that you know of it, so you don't become one of these people in the midwit meme. Smart people and dumb people tend to come to the same conclusion, usually for different reasons, but the same conclusion. The absolute dumbest people out there are going to have different offers for different levels of the market, and so are the smartest ones. It's everyone in between that this is a problem for, that they cry and they whine and say 99% of my leads are unqualified, and they take it as kind of a pseudo. It's like when people have a bad result that they take pride in so much that they enjoy it in some sick, weird way. And that is what we're going to solve here. Their top 5 things that we really need to know is having offers, like I said, is the solution to this problem. And these other offers are going to account for about 40% of our revenue in my experience, but they're going to be a lot more profitable, because when you are referring someone away to someone and collecting a fee, that's 100% profit. Affiliate payments, 100% profit. Digital products, 100% profit. Courses, 100% profit. Programs, a little bit less, and one-time service, a little bit less. But we can make more revenue, of course, by doing this, but we're going to get this revenue that we're generating is almost 100% profit, maybe minus some payment processor fees. Having all of these things is going to make your business more stable, and because of that, it's going to make your business more sellable. If you put yourself in the shoes of a potential acquirer, what would you rather have? A business where 100% of the profits and revenue comes from just client services, or a business where they have all of these different revenue streams? It's much less risky if you have all of these things, so you're going to get a higher multiple if you sell, and you're going to get a higher percentage of cash as opposed to an earnout. And the thing that I really want to stress in this video, specifically, all of these things are important, but we need to stress this, is having these offers is almost always the difference between your ads working or not. Between your ads being profitable and being able to scale them versus them not being profitable or them capping out. This is almost always the difference. A lot of the time it has nothing to do with the ad itself. It has nothing to do with the lead magnet. It has nothing to do with the email flows. It has nothing to do with X, Y, and Z. This is going to be the main thing that stops you from scaling paid ads, not having these offers. And I'm going to go to actual math here. So for example, and this is just based on my experience and experience of my friends who I asked in preparation for this video, but if you're running an info product funnel, you can kind of consider a 2% conversion rate to be good, and then you can kind of consider 2% of these people to be qualified for your main service. So it's kind of a 2% thing. I don't think this really matters for what I'm about to explain, but I really wanted to put this in while I was doing research or putting together this Miro board for this video. So this is kind of how it might work. It might look like. Somebody goes from a paid ad to a lead magnet. Let's go for a different one just for chart purposes. They're added to your email flows, your offers on the thank you page. They might attend one of your conversion mechanisms, your newsletter, etc. And you will use these to determine if they're qualified or unqualified. So basically, something like if you don't have this one-time service, your close rate for your recurring service is going to be about 20%. And that's why this is so important to have your one-time service in addition to your recurring service. Let's just say you're like me. When I had an agency, my recurring service was $8K a month to $15K a month. Even if they go through this entire process, it's very difficult to sell someone $15K a month, 6-month minimum commitment the first time they're ever engaging with you. You might have a 20% close rate at best in that scenario. But if you have a one-time service that's cheaper, that's less risky, that they can kind of use to test out your services, I sold landing pages, which is kind of like a miniature version of complete site-wide CRO for $2,500. Now, instead of a 20% conversion rate, I might get something like a 40%. I close twice as many deals for the one-time service. And then if I do a good job, presumably I will, I can much easier upsell to the recurring service as opposed to just going directly for it. And of these 40% of people, maybe 33%, a third of them might get this instead of 20% or less, that type of thing. To be clear, we can still sell them our recurring service if that's what they want. You don't need to sell them the one time first, but it just gives you a lot of different options because there's going to be a certain percentage of people who are qualified, who have money, but don't trust you enough to go for your high ticket service right off the bat. And that's where an additional offer of this one-time service can really play a big role and really help you succeed. So the thing about this is, this is what happens when most people do it. This is what we should do. This is what happens when most people do it. As you'll see, they don't have the products, affiliates, other offers, one-time service, etc. So 99% of people essentially just get stuck here, and that leaves 1% potentially becoming a client. That doesn't mean they're booked a call. That doesn't mean they even know about you. It's just 1% of your market needs your service and can afford it. A small percentage of them will book a call, and you might close 20 to 25% at most. This is what most people are doing, and I have some math on beneath these to show you the kind of difference, because I have one here and then I have another one here that shows you what you should be doing, because it's very important. So I hope this makes sense. Just having an extra stuff here, I really wanted to focus on the one-time service for this particular drawing. Having this one-time service can just act as a nice stepping stone and a nice paid trial offer as opposed to only having your main recurring service like so many people do, which is basically this is their marketing funnel. Compare just what looks better on paper, this or this. And we can kind of answer that, obviously, this will look better. So this is the marketing funnel for most people, assuming they have the rest in terms of just offers. And this is being generous, like I said, because most people won't have even 10% of this. But let's just say they did, but only with one offer, because we got to have the sake of argument for here. So 100,000 total subscribers, email subscribers over the course of a year is basically let's just assume that that's the case. They got through their paid ads, through their content, through their outreach, through their partnerships, through whatever, they got 100,000 email subscribers. So if 100,000 email subscribers, and remember only 1% are qualified, that is about 1,000 qualified people. And that's just qualified people. People who can afford it, people who are looking for it right now, people who don't do it themselves or have someone doing it for them. That's who this is. But not every one of these people are going to book a call. Most of them don't even know who you are. And of those people, not everyone's going to book a call. I gave, in my opinion, a somewhat generous 10% of these people will book a call, which means 100 calls over the course of a year. I gave a somewhat generous 25% close rate on cold traffic, which means 25 clients. If we had a $10,000 net margin per client in the lifetime value, and we got to choose some numbers here. I know some people are going to say, ooh, mine's much higher than that. But we have to choose some number here. This is a video and an example. That's $250,000 profit just by having this one number. A good income for a lot of people in almost anywhere of the world. I'm not disparaging that. But it does leave a lot of potential on the table. And what I want to do with these videos is help you realize your potential. If it sounds motivational, you can decide for yourself. So let's do the 100,000 email subscribers with all of the offers. Now we have affiliate, now we have products, now we have programs, courses, referrals, one-time service in addition to a recurring service. Before I get started, the thing to understand here is we're not doing anything different at all by having these offers. We're still running the same ads to the same lead magnets, to the same conversion mechanisms, with the same email flows, the same content, etc. But the only difference is now we have these offers. 99% of people will be unqualified before, 99% are going to be unqualified now. But before, these people just didn't do anything. They're just there. There's nowhere for them to go. They just exist in your email software and are not monetized in any way. But now, if they are unqualified, meaning they can't afford our service or whatever the reason, we can send them to the products, the digital products. Maybe they're worth $100 in this example. We also will stack our lead magnets and our email flows with affiliate links and start to build affiliate MRR. This is very well completely passive, but it's a lot of money if you do it right. We could, if they're unqualified, we could refer them to an agency or a freelancer that does the same thing that we do, but for less and collect a fee. We could sell them a course, which we have. The way to think of the course is you made this course for your internal training and you might as well sell it as well. For those who want a little extra, the program is the course plus a little bit of coaching calls or guidance or feedback. So these are all different offers that we now can be adding to our funnel. We're not doing anything different. It's not like we're changing everything. These just are a way to monetize the 99% that already existed as a byproduct of this funnel. And now we're making a lot more money, and I'll show you. Because of this, we still have 1% of people are qualified, 1,000 calls. But because we have different stuff now, we've put them through different offers and stuff, we can kind of say that more people are going to book a call this time than the other way. And that just means we now have, let's say we're only promoting our 15K hypothetical zero service before. People who know they can't afford that have no reason to book a call. But now we have a $2,500 landing page. A larger percentage of people are going to book a call. And I've reflected that, and now it's 15% instead of 10%. So this means we're going to get 150 calls from the same sample size instead of 100. But now, because we have this other offer, it's less risky. They can try out our service, whatever our one-time service is, and then if they like it, they can be upsold to the recurring service. So now our close rate kind of doubles. Instead of $15,000 a month in this example with a 6-month commitment, they can pay $2,500 and try it out. Now, instead of 25 clients with a 10% book a call rate and 25% close rate, we have 60 clients because we're booking more calls and closing more of them. I was trying to be very fair here and say we have a $7,500 net margin per client instead of $10,000 just to account for the one-time service. Not everybody's going to upsell, of course. And that is $450,000 profit instead of $250 just by doing nothing but adding the offers in. Hopefully you agree and at least understand my example logic here, but we're not doing anything different. We're just monetizing them in a different way. Now we have a one-time service, and this reduces the risk, and it helps us book more calls because we have a lesser version of our main service. So this is just taking into account, this down here, not even this stuff yet. But we've already almost added, not quite double our profit, but I think that's 80%. If that's, you can make fun of me in the comments or DMs if that's not, but I'm going to move on. But we also have other stuff now. We also have our products, right? If we have 100,000 email subscribers and 1% of them convert over a course of a year, is not difficult to do, trust me, and the AOV is $100, that's $100,000 in revenue, and it's going to be all profit minus the payment processor fees. We also have affiliate links now in all of our email flows and our lead magnets. If just 1% of people sign up for anything, and we might have different affiliate offers, that means 1,000 people have signed up. If the average payout is $25 a month, so let's say you get them to sign up for a software that's $90 or $100 a month to keep it easy, and it's a 25% commission, that's where this number comes from. Some tools might pay higher, some might do lower, but we have to choose some number for this example. And let's just say they stay 3 months on average, because some people will stay for a year, some people will cancel after a week. Let's just say 3 months to be conservative here, in my opinion. That's $25 times 3 months is $75 per user, times 1,000 people is $75,000, almost all profit. Now we have referral partners as well, don't we? Let's say we have a bunch of people who aren't qualified, but they still need our service. We could refer them away to a freelancer or another agency. Let's say we do 100 of these a year, which will have, well, that should be 0.1, but sorry about that. That's 100 referrals per year times $1,000 referral fee each. That's another $100,000. If 1% or if only 100 people out of the 100,000 buy our course and it's $1,000 each, that's another $100,000. I just combined the program here just to show you conservatively what is possible. So now instead of 250,000 or even 450,000 just by putting the one-time service, now we have 820,000 total profit. And it's very important to remember that we're not doing anything different. The marketing is the marketing. The leads are the leads. All we're doing is giving them another option to those who are qualified, a lesser option to reduce their risk and maybe close some more people who have money, but not quite that much money. And we're also monetizing the 99% that aren't qualified just by having these offers. Same ads, same content, same outreach, same partnerships, same email flows, same conversion mechanisms, same sales process, same content, same lead magnets. Nothing has changed. And this is the power, and this is why it's so important. If we go back to the very important thing I said earlier about this is usually going to be the difference between your ads working or your ads not working. It's so true. People have an ad funnel that looks something like this, and they wonder why the ads don't work. It's kind of obvious why the ads don't work when we think of it in this context. If 99% of people we're running ads to are not qualified, how are they going to be profitable? I typically call people, and people do this, so I'm not going to make too much fun of them, but people do frequently run ads like this. They run it to a page, maybe as a VSL, booking a call to their recurring service. And if you know someone who says ads don't work, this is usually why. It's because instead of this entire thing with all of these different offers, like this is their funnel. I typically jokingly refer to this as the FTC funnel because the cost per lead is going to be super high, and cost per call. They didn't go through all your marketing and email flows and stuff, so they don't really know what you do. And because they haven't done that, they haven't seen your content, they don't trust you, there's little to no rapport on the call, and that makes it much harder to sell. And because of this super high cost per call, you need to sell quickly to recover your ad spend. If you're spending $5K a day on ads, not saying you have to do that right away, but one day, and you need to sell right away or you're going to bankrupt yourself, you or your closers are going to say crazy things to get them to buy. And over time, that's going to catch up with you. The FTC is going to get on you. And that's why I call it the FTC funnel. Jokingly, but not. Let's go back. So the difference between, and I have up here, the difference between profitable ads versus not profitable is having these offers. When most people are doing it, they just go to here where it's just 99% of people who click on your ads and stuff can't buy anything or be monetized, it's hard to expect them to work. Versus you have something like this with all of these different offers, a cohesive marketing strategy, a cohesive unit. It's very easy to get your ads profitable, and not just profitable in the sense of, you're getting 1x or more return on ad spend, but extremely profitable to the point where you can make a lot of money. If you have all of this, you have this whole funnel, you have all of these offers, you're doing this, it's not going to be, and I don't want to minimize it, but it's not going to be impossible or even extremely difficult for you to be, you don't need to be a paid ad god or anything to make it work, is mostly what I'm trying to say. It's all how it works together. It's all part of the whole system. Don't run ads until you have a marketing strategy that looks exactly like this. When you do, you are going to get the ability to do unlimited scale because your ads are going to be so profitable. You can get as many leads as you want, many calls as you want, because you have now inverted the principle of supply and demand in your favor instead of against you. You can raise prices, which means higher margins, which means you can reinvest in more ads, content, higher level employees to help you scale the business, and so on, versus the FTC funnel. And I don't want to present that as a joke because this literally is what happens to people who run this funnel. If you see people get investigated, that's why. So because this video, the offers are important, right? Like, I don't want to say anyone should do this even if they don't run ads. But this is so much more important if you do run ads, because there is a degree of, if you do cold email or outreach, if you do content, it would work without it. But it's just, when you're running ads, you are risking real money, right? That you have to presumably get back. You just can't lose money on your ads indefinitely. Versus content, it's not that much big of a problem. It's not as necessary to have all of this stuff, even though why wouldn't you? But when we're running ads, like, we have to have this stuff, or it's not going to work. So that's why I have a projecting ad spend example here, if you were wondering why. So this is purely example math. Like, don't think too much into it. You got to making a video like this, you got to have some kind of math. But eventually, through your data and analytics, you determine through number of calls divided by ad spend that you pay $100 to get a call booked. Because your funnel is so good and you have different offers, I said, you might get a 40% close rate on the one time, but let's just be conservative. After bad fits, unqualified people, and no shows with the calls, you get a 20% close rate. So that basically means if you're paying $100 a call, 1 in 5 people, 20%, buy, that's $500 customer acquisition cost. On your service, if you had $5,000 lifetime gross profit, again, this is just an example, 5,000 divided by 500 customer acquisition costs is 10 times return on ad spend. But this is not e-commerce, and that's another mindset that will kill you. There's a sales cycle. We all know that. People don't just see our lead magnet and then buy. Let's just say for this example, there's a 90-day sales cycle on average. Could be more, could be less. Typically, the more expensive or niche your service is, the greater it's going to be. But let's say we have a kind of affordable mass market option. You need to pace yourself here if you don't have a big line of credit or money in the bank. You can't just go absolutely nuts on the ad spend because you're going to have to wait to give it back. This is not e-commerce where they see your ad, decide whether or not to buy, check out, and the cash flow is instant. You just have to pace yourself. It's not scary or super complex, but you have to pace yourself. So my formula when I do this, assuming that I don't have money in the bank, which I do, so I'm trying to make this for everybody, not me personally. When I started it, let's say, I spent 1/3 of my 90-day LTV on ads and multiplied that by the number of clients I wanted per month. And I do that because, there's 30 days in a month, 90 days total. 1/3 of 90 is 30 days. It's not magic or anything. So let's say my gross lifetime value is $5,000 and I divided that by 3 for 30 days. So I would be spending $1,666 per month on ads, and you can divide that down to day, but I multiplied by the number of clients I want. So if I wanted 5 clients, I would do, times 5. I think I have that math here. So let's say we want to get 5 clients per month. 5 times 5,000 divided by 3 is 8,333 a month on ad spend, which is $277 per day. Take it slow at the beginning until you can afford it. And always start from scratch at $50 per day and prove it works. Once it's proven to work, you can always increase the ad spend. If it's not working, there's no reason to spend more than $50 a day. If it's not working at $50 a day, it's not going to work at $277 in this example. It's not going to work at $1,000 or $5,000. Like, a lot of people really worry about this and say, how much do I have to spend on ads? Or usually takes a question of that shape or form. And the answer is always start at $50 a day, because $50 is affordable to pretty much anybody who's going to attempt paid ads. And it's going to, $5 a day just takes forever to do testing and to get calls. Because if you get $100 a call, for example, and you'd spend $5 a day, you might not get a call for 20 days. That would be the math on that, right? So let's go and finish this off with some, basically how to make these different offers and then some examples, because I made a couple of examples. So to recap, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So assuming we just had the recurring service, how do we make the other offers? So here are some examples. So for products, we want to charge $10 to $100 for these. And the best way to think about it is they make stuff faster. So landing pages. If you had a lead magnet telling them how to do landing pages, you might sell landing page templates. And that would be a good example of how to make it faster. Affiliate links, stuff that your target audience or ICP or market uses, just include those in your lead magnets and email flows. Course, a $997 course that teaches them how to do X, Y, and Z. And the number one thing is, because you always, when I explain this to people, 33% of the time, let's say, often say, well, I don't want to be a course seller, I don't have a course, or I don't want to make a course. The course should be the exact same thing as your internal training. Just make internal training and sell it as a course or vice versa. And it's great to test the value or the effectiveness of the course, because if you put your people that you're hiring and training through it, and you can see the results for yourself and whether it's good or not. Program will just be a more expensive version of the $997 course, but you might put a weekly call or Slack channel or something. So for the one-time service, it'll be, I did not change this, so let's change this. It will be a lesser version and or natural stepping stone to your main service. And I have some examples below, so we'll get into that. And then the main service, or your recurring service, is the main high-ticket recurring service that you already have. If you're in business, you mostly have a service like that, so I'm not going to get into that. So I did a couple examples, one of a sales trainer and one of a landing page agency. So the product here could be sales call checklist for $97, top 10 lines, comments, closes, etc. For affiliates, you could have CRMs, dialers, whatever tools that salespeople use. For course, top 10 things you need to get more sales. Same with the program. One-time service could be you go into their company or their sales team and make a custom sales process for their team. And a recurring service is you review the company's sales calls weekly and offer suggestions and coaching to their team. Like it's not overly complicated, let's say, but that's an example of some offers that you would make. Landing page agency, I know this one from experience, so this will be a lot more specific because this is just what I did. So 100 Webflow templates for $97, very good value, appealing to all levels of the market from absolute beginner to probably established brand. Like if a CEO of a decent brand saw that, $97, why not? Affiliate, Webflow, ClickFunnels, Jasper AI, Convert.com, which is an A/B testing tool. Course, top 12 things for a high converting landing page. Program, same thing. I didn't have a program when I did this exact example, but I could have. One-time service was one landing page for $2,500 or 3 for $5,000, and it was about 50-50 for who got which. And then if I did a good job, the recurring service was $8,000 to $15,000 recurring site-wide CRO every single month. When I say 8 to 15,000, I started at 8,000 when I first started, and as my confidence grew, I eventually raised it to 15,000. Not real too much thought or reasoning behind it. So this, in a nutshell, is why the offers are so important. And if you don't have them, you are kind of screwed, in my honest opinion. You're going to have an unstable business that's solely on client revenue. You're not going to be as profitable as you should. Nothing to do with the 99% of leads that are unqualified. You're just going to get frustrated. Your ads are not going to work because you don't have any way to monetize the 99%. And you're not going to be able to scale because you need paid ads to scale. And that's just how it is. So hopefully this video is valuable, and I'll see you in the next one.